We are live!
Hello.
Hello! It's been a while that we have been live here, huh?
For the couples talk.
For the couples talk. So we're so excited to share another couples talk with you guys. And we want to talk about how you get to experience heartfelt sex. And it's something that has been, well, present in our life lately, you know, what we realized and what we've been talking about a lot.
Yeah, first question would be, what is
heart-feeling sex? And we are going to wait who's going to join us, who's going to come in, and just a few moments, huh? To see who's there. Welcome, everyone. So, heartfelt sex, what is that?
What's for you, actually? So I think everyone has its own definition or feeling what heartfelt sex is. Yeah. So let's start with you.
So for me, heartfelt sex is a sexuality that touches me deeply in my heart. That's a sexuality where I feel connected deeply to myself, to my being, while I have sex and afterwards. You know, that's a sexuality that leaves me with a feeling of deep connection and love and fulfilled, because also I know how it can feel when you feel empty afterwards, you know, when you feel empty after sex. And actually not in a high vibe.
Maybe starting there. So how was sexuality for you before you experienced heartfelt sex?
So before I got to experience the sexuality I get to experience today, a lot of times I felt empty afterwards. It didn't give me a lot, you know. It didn't fulfill me. It didn't bring me in a high vibration. But afterwards I felt disconnected from myself. I felt in a low energy a lot of times. I felt lost. That was why it brought me to a point where I wanted to ban sexuality out of my life.
Which feelings did you have?
Thank you for the hearts, everyone. Hello, Lisa. Hello, I see Sevilai. Oh, someone. Thank you. I bow to you, goddess. I bow to all of the goddesses listening to us also.
And the gods, of course.
And the gods. Thank you for being here. So beautiful. So, what feelings I had?
Make it more specific, like
afterwards, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of the things I said already, you know, I felt empty.
No, feeling. What feeling?
Feeling of emptiness.
Okay.
So this is a discussion where you say it's not a feeling.
It's not a feeling.
Well, you can feel empty afterwards. But I think I felt sadness.
Yeah.
I felt lost. I felt the feeling of loss and disconnecting from myself.
Being used also?
Sometimes, I felt being used.
I think it's so common, and it's not only linked to women. I knew these feelings for myself. That's why I'm asking. So yeah.
So we want to talk to you about how we change that, you know, and how you get to experience sexuality that really fulfills you. And really curious to hear, how do you experience your sexuality right now in your life? And maybe you know a little bit of what I shared just now, you know, maybe you know the feelings, and maybe there's the desire to change that also. So what is the one thing that we change?
Let's start from the end. So how is sexuality now for you after our encounter or your encounter with yourself?
You know, afterwards, a lot of times I feel deeply connected to myself. I feel deeply connected to my heart. I feel deeply connected to myself. I feel connected to everything around me. I feel connected to nature. There's connection there. Sounds maybe stupid, it's always different, but I feel connected to the divine. I feel connected to the universe. I feel like everything is possible. I feel hope in my heart. I feel love. I feel this feeling of, yes, everything is possible. Everything, I can do everything. I feel empowered. And you feel already the shift. I feel so much. Beauty. I see the beauty in everything. I'm just full of bliss and magic. That's what I feel today. And that shifted in only 4 years. So this is not like something I've been doing for many, many years, but that shifted in the last 4 years. I love you guys. Thank you for the hearts, really. So how did we get there, and how did I get there? How did you get there? So for us, when we talked about it just now, what we realized, the number one thing, and that's maybe the main thing, is you will not get to experience anything like a heartfelt sexuality if you're not able to create these feelings in you. You will not get anything from your partner. You will not get anything out of sex if you're not able to create these feelings in you. Do you have another way to express it?
well, it starts all with you. And if you're not able to, it's like going to the nicest flowers and see the flower. But if you're not able to see the colors, because maybe you're blind or you don't open your eyes, then you cannot see the beauty of the flower. So
I guess heartful sex starts with you.
It starts with you.
That's where it starts. And what do we mean with it? How do we start? I need some guidance. I need some structure.
So we talked about what is heartful sex, and maybe it's similar. The steps are similar to your journey. So what did you do at first?
I think a lot of times the first step is to take off all the layers that we build around our heart, that we put on us all these years in our childhood, that prevented us from being ourselves, that prevented us from feeling fully, that blinded us maybe. So it's taking off layers and layers and layers,
what is
becoming more and more yourself again. Well, I don't want to dive into that too deep because this is another story. But layers is where all the times where I was not speaking my truth, where I swallowed down things and I didn't allow myself to speak my truth, because out of fear of rejection, maybe, of not being wanted. Like all of these childhood beliefs and traumas that we carry inside. So we put on layers on top, of ourself, of our source. And these layers also prevent us from feeling 100%. They numb us in a way. So for me, in order to feel heartful sex, it's here you see, it doesn't start with sexuality, but it starts inside. It's about taking off these layers, releasing blockages, releasing negative thoughts that you've carried around, or conditioning, whatever you want to call it, all of these things, taking them off so you make space for something new. So that is actually the first step. And that's what I did on all levels. I dived into my subconsciousness. I took off layers and blockages in my body, to make space to be able to feel more. So that's
and not only blockages, but also activate even the smallest nerves to really feel again. And
that's actually a beautiful second thing is it's about becoming really present again. Because we hustle and we learn sexuality is about, I feel like when we learn about sexuality, it's all about, I don't know, doing the right moves in order to get an orgasm, But for me, it's really about slowing down again and being able to feel, to be present, to feel the beauty in the small things, to see the beauty in the small things and to be able to feel it with all of your senses again. Because in that moment, it's not about being goal-orientated, it's not about achieving something, but it really is about feeling the beauty of the connection that we have right here in this moment. So it's about slowing down, and in that moment, it's going to touch your heart again. How is anything supposed to touch your heart when you're really just with your mind focused on where to go? How can that touch your heart? It can't. So we have to take back that energy. We have to slow down, come back into the present moment and feel what's alive here right now, in between us, but also in me.
So what does it mean? Does it mean meditation?
You know what? In a way, sexuality becomes a meditation. In a way, it's exactly what it is, Meditation. What is a meditation? A meditation is about becoming present, focusing, really being aware and feeling. And that's what we do in sexuality also, in a way. It doesn't mean that sexuality can't be wild at times, but it means that in every move and everything I do, I am present. I'm fucking here. I'm not following a story in my head or where I need to go, but I'm present right here, right now. And I follow the feeling. I follow the flow. So you have to become present again, Yeah.
And what do you think? It sounds for me like it is more easy to learn these steps by your own at first.
And I believe that's the truth. It makes it, you can learn it with a partner. There's two ways. But in a way, sexuality starts with you. So if you are not able to feel love in your heart, if you're not able to to feel pleasure, if you are not able to feel connected to your heart, if you can't do all of these things in yourself, how do you want to feel them when you connect with a partner? So in a way, it's easier to step back for a moment and to start with yourself, to start exploring your body, to start activating your energy, centers again, to start activating your heart, to start taking off layers. And it doesn't mean that when you're in a relationship, you can't do that with your partner, but it's maybe also to slow down and to connect to your partner and to go on this journey together, So what we did, we didn't keep on going, and follow the track, but it was all about healing for a while. It was all about, slowing down and taking off layers and activating the love in us again and activating the energy in us again. And we did that together in a way, But it's because you helped me and I helped you.
Maybe this is a belief of me, but I think, or I experienced a lot of women which are blaming men for not having fulfilling sex.
How do you feel about it? Whoever is watching. And also, how do the men feel about it? I'm really curious about it. And yes, I think it's the truth, because I actually blamed men a long time. I thought they didn't do it right. They didn't know what to do. They were all about their own pleasure. And that's a big one, actually, because when I realized that men were also trying really, really hard to please me, and they didn't know any better because I didn't tell them, because I didn't even know what I liked, that was a huge moment. And that was the moment, and that's we talked about this earlier, when you take back your responsibility for your own pleasure to yourself, take it back. You are responsible for your own pleasure, and your partner's responsible for his pleasure, and you get to come together, you get to connect. But he's not responsible for your pleasure, you are. So, how about exploring yourself and knowing what you desire, and then, speak it out and share it with your partner and show your partner how you like it. He doesn't know, and this is also where connection starts. And connection is really important if you want to feel it with the heart, I think. So it all starts with you, and it takes it. One of the biggest steps we did was that I took back the responsibility that I gave away all these years to myself, and I had the responsibility for my pleasure again, and you also, and that was so freeing. Yeah. And I think that's necessary if you want to feel. Then it's not about you need to please me, but we are free. I set you free also.
And it's about removing all the projections you have of the other, like projections he has to, or she has to fulfill my needs, or he or she has to pleasure me, or making me feeling bad. So it's the ultimate taking back all the power you gave away all the years, and going back to you. Yeah. How does it is specific word? I want to get a grip on it. How does it look like?
To take back your responsibility.
And your pleasure. Responsibility for your pleasure.
I mean, there's so many ways, There's so many, and that's something we share in our work also, and I share in my work a lot, because there is not only one thing. There's beautiful, beautiful things you can actually take, action steps, that you can take to experience that in a relationship. But I think the one thing, literally what you do is that you speak it out loud. You sit in front of your partner, and I remember us sitting in front of each other, and I was saying, okay, you know what, I'm taking back my responsibility for my pleasure. I'm responsible for my pleasure. You're free. You are not responsible for any longer. And you said the same thing. And I think the next action step would be that everything I do, I do it for my pleasure. I'm not waiting for him to please me. I'm not waiting for him to touch me a certain way, but I go for my own needs. Meaning that I don't touch him for his pleasure because I think he would like that, but I start to touch him the way I want to touch him. So that's actually one of the secrets. That's one of the things. How about you try this out right now, tonight, that you, in the next encounter you have with anyone, with your partner, with a lover, with yourself, you touch yourself, not because you're following a certain track, not because you think he would like that, she would like that, but because you touch for your pleasure. So then the touching becomes the pleasure, not the result, not you waiting for something, but just like touching him here, You do it because it pleasures you, because you like to go through his hair, because you like to touch his chest. You do it for your pleasure. And he does, imagine that, he does it for his pleasure. And imagine how beautiful, like, it starts to flow. Sometimes, it gets really funny because I really love Christian's ears. So I start to touch them and to kiss them and to whatever. And he starts to touch my butt, but I'm all about his ears. And then I get so juicy because of his ears, and he gets really juicy because he gets to touch my butt. But something beautiful happens here, because then there in this moment, a magic happens, and we start to go in a flow. So I guess this is one huge thing, that we did, setting ourselves free, and following our own pleasure. And for that, going back one step, for that you need to be able to create pleasure in you, And that's like we're going backward. No, really, that's right. It's because it starts in you. Feelings. Can I make a little excursus here?
Go ahead.
Feelings. A lot of times we think somebody else gives us these feelings. They do something and we feel it. And I thought that a long time. And it's not the truth. I think we have to understand again that you create the feeling in you. You create pleasure. You create love. You feel it in you first, and then you feel it for someone else. But you feel it in you. It's your feeling.
And even if you feel it for someone else, it's your feeling. It's still your feeling. Yeah. So nobody can make you feel love.
That's the thing. Really get this. Let this sink in. Nobody can make you feel love. Nobody can make you feel pleasure. It's a frequency. It's an energy, and it's something that you tap into that. You can tap into pleasure without anything, just by tapping into the frequency. There's a beautiful meditation. I did that in my last masterclass, Activating Your Pleasure, where it was about feeling more pleasure, just out of nothing. And it was beautiful what the women told me afterwards, that they could actually, really, like you're really raising the energy. They could raise the energy just because they were willing it to go up. So if you can really create that in you, pleasure, you can feel it. That's the moment actually when you can, in the encounter with someone else, you get to feel the feeling. But you've got to do the inside job first. You've got to be, you've got to do everything that we talked about. Take the layers off and feel these feelings, and then you will experience it. Who's sending me all the hearts? Really, who is it? It's really amazing, huh? It's like really beautiful. Maybe it's Lisa or Bianca. Thank you. Yeah.
So what's the next step then?
And I think the one thing that's like the last thing that comes to my mind after everything that we talked about is that it's a lot about energy also,
Oh, okay. I want to have a step first. Because you said you are in your full power, you're in your full responsibility, in your full self-pleasure generation, I would call it. And from then on, you go to your partner. So you're not having two partners meeting in a lack, in a state of
neediness.
Yeah, in a neediness. But you're coming with abundance and with more pleasure to share, and not in like wanting something from someone, but in sharing and giving something to someone.
This is so important. That when you're full, you're meeting, and someone else is full, you're meeting in a completely different way. But if you're in a lack because you cannot create love in you and you think someone else has to give it to you, a lot of times that's when sex is going to feel empty, because you're giving from an empty cup and I give from an empty cup. Well, empty and empty creates more empty, and that's just the truth. Yeah. So this is just on so many levels.
And so many levels, deep. And you said one word, and I want to emphasize this topic also. It's about connection, you said. So maybe you have some 1, 2, 3 tools for couples to connect.
Well, first, maybe I should start how to connect to you yourself.
Again, yeah.
But it's a beautiful one thing you can always do is meditation. And there's many ways, you know, you can use this. There's many ways. Just one thing is meditation. I don't know how to start because there's so many in my head. You know, just really closing your eyes, you know, put your hand on your heart and feel your heart. And it's something beautiful to do is to create heart coherence, you know, to just take a moment, 5 minutes or so, and to breathe into your heart. Breathe in your heart, breathe out of your heart, and just focus on your heart, because, you know, just the energy always follows your focus. And if you focus on your heart and you breathe in your heart and you stay there, and you know, you will feel that the energy is going into your heart, and you will feel the connection. And your heart is going to open. So that's a beautiful thing before anything, you know, to open your heart space. And then, the same thing you can do with your partner. Okay, but you want to say something first?
I wanted to say how to connect with your partner.
Well, one thing that came to my mind, I'm curious also what you have in mind, is to, a lot of times when we start, before we do anything, I sit on your lap, for example, and we are really close, so we are connected heart to heart, body to body. All our energy centers are connected, you know, and we breathe together. And we, you know, we just connect on an energetic level. We feel each other, and we just tune in to each other. Instead of just going into something right away, just connect first.
Yeah, and another wonderful tool, maybe it's also good before you approach on a body level, is just adjust. And it's very powerful to gaze in someone's eyes.
Yeah, oh wow, that's so deep. Yeah.
So really connect and stay in this gazing, like gazing there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Yeah. And really don't try to look away or something, just focus the other one and really try to see him or her.
And allow yourself to be seen.
Yeah, that's also true.
You know, and the gazing a lot of times is that we try to smile at someone else. Like, how about you don't have to smile? Like, relax your cheek muscles, because we are so conditioned to smile at someone all the time. No, like, you don't have to smile. Relax your face muscles. You know, you don't have to look a certain way. Just relax. Close your eyes, breathe, and then when you open them, just look into their eyes, because the eyes are the entry to the soul also, you know. So if you do that, you will really connect on a different level. And that's something beautiful also, to connect first heart to heart, and it's going to change the whole way you make love with your partner and yourself. I do that with myself, and I make love with myself. I stand in the mirror a lot of times, and I look into my eyes, and I dance for myself, and I try to feel like I feel sexy, but I connect to myself first. Yeah. Thank you. Beautiful.
And now you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I want to sum it up, huh?
Energy,
the energy is the one I wanted. The last thing that came to my mind, and maybe you see there's so much in it, but it's possible to change it. But it's just, you know, we have to look at sexuality a different way than what we grew up with. It's definitely different, and maybe this is bringing me to where I want to go. A lot of times what I feel is that the sexuality we grow up with, that we see in television, that, you know, that we see in movies or whatever, porn, that's even worse, is a sexuality that's really based on your primal instincts. And that's a lot of times really goal orientated, you know, and it's all about orgasms. And I think it is about, you know, getting away from the idea that sex always has to be an orgasm, you know, and moving it to the idea that how would it feel like if you could be orgasmic? How would it feel like, you know, if everything could be full of bliss all the time? You know, and then that's the moment when you move it from a primal instinct, a body instinct, to something that feels connected to, you know, feeling the energies that move, like, you know, in your heart maybe, or somewhere else. And even further, maybe if you move the energies, if you don't, you know, focus on releasing it, but you move the energies and you learn how to move them, that's definitely that's in the end going to bring you to feel connection to the divine, to something you a lot greater than you even are.
So it's not only bringing it from the primal instinct to heart connection, but also from body reaction or body-wise mechanical friction to energetic melting.
Yeah. And that's different level, but it's so beautiful. It changed my sexuality so much. Well, sometimes, yes, I like to have a good fuck. Sometimes I just like, you know, to have sex on a body level. But that's not what fulfills me always, you know. Sometimes from like many times it's all about energies. And then I feel so much more in my heart, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I just have a heart orgasm, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't hold all the energies. Or sometimes it's just like I really connect to something else, and I'm like, it almost feels like as if I'm leaving my body. It's what I experience in meditation sometimes, you know. It really brings you on a different level, and we can all do that. You can do that, because 3 years ago I couldn't even feel it. I never experienced an orgasm in my life 4 years ago. But anyway, you know, but it's not a long time, and today I can. And what did I do? I took off layers. I activated my energy centers. You know, it's all about freeing the energy so life force can flow through you free again. And that's the moment when you are going to bring it on a new level. So it's, you know, it's always the same. And if I can do that, everyone can do it. If we could do that, you know, you can do that. And it's a beautiful path. It changes everything in your life, and that's a different talk. Yeah,
that's so beautiful. And I remember when we first experienced sparkles of these things
and glimpses, huh?
Yeah, we were just like, what the fuck is happening here? And we asked for guidance, because we didn't know what it is and how it worked, and
how to do it,
and how to do it, because nobody could tell us. Huh?
Yeah. And the moment we asked for help, guidance came. You know, we were guided to the right teachers, workshops, courses, you know, we just, and step by step, we evolved this. Yeah. Beautiful.
So what's about women who want to know more or getting these experience?
So beautiful goddesses out there, like for real, everything we talked about and so much more is in my course that I'm starting the end of February. So Tantric Goddess, Become a Tantric Goddess, is a 10-week course that is all about connecting to the divine sexuality that you carry inside. It's all about, it really is about taking off layers and blockages and all of the things that are keeping you away from experiencing deep, fulfilling sexuality. It's about activating your energy chakras, your energy center, so you get to experience sexuality like on an energetic level. It's about embodying your tantric goddess that we all are, you know. The tantric goddess that is connected to your sexual energy knows how to navigate it. She's connected to her heart, and she gets to create the life that she wants using her sexual energy.
Wow, that's another topic, huh?
It's another topic, but this course is really, you know, it is a deep dive. We are really going where, you know, where what's holding us back right now to experience this, but then also I'm showing you ways how to experience it in a different way with yourself first, and also with others and your partner and partners, you know. So I'm so excited if you want to join me. 4 beautiful women already joined me. A few of them are here tonight, and I'm really looking forward to having them and you to welcome you on this beautiful journey. And if you want to get a glimpse of my work and what I do, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. German time, I'm giving a free masterclass, Activate Your Sexual Energy. You might saw it with the name Ignite Your Tantric Energy. It's the same. And if you want to get a glimpse of my work and what I do, join me. You will find the link in my profile, or write me if you can't find it. And there you can get a good idea of how I work, how I am, and what I do. And tomorrow's masterclass is all about activating your sexual energy. And it's so deep already. And if this is deep, you know, the course is even deeper.
It's amazing. Yeah.
And maybe to sum it up, the course has, you know, everything that I learned on my journey is in the course. All the tantric exercises, all the rituals, you know, all the energetic exercises, everything that I learned on my path is in that course, combined with hypnosis, because I'm a hypnotherapist, so we can also on a subconscious level heal and remove blockages. It's all in there, and it makes it so much easier, you know, because I really had to collect everything on my path, but it's all in there. So hopefully see you there.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for joining. Thank you Bianca for the fire and the flames. Thank you, Lisa, for all the hearts. Thank you, everyone who joined.
And if you have questions or inspiration for us for new topics about couple talks, please let us know and we will do it.
We are always open to speak about anything regarding relationship, sexuality, self-love, anything you're interested in regarding these topics, let us know. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, lovelies.
Bye-bye.
Bye.